LRZ is making his transition from rugby being a star to the football field. What complements do you see as far as rugby and football?
I think rugby has a pretty good carryover to the football field as far as, it's like special teams. Rugby is, to me, it looks, the things that go on there is a lot like special teams. And I think if the hardest part is going to be not physically, I think it's going to be just learning the playbook and learning the schemes and learning, the difference between, football and rugby as far as where you fit on the field, the spacing, things like that.
Right.
Is different. But I think physically, there's a high carryover.
Okay. So even like the linear stuff is not really an issue or problem there.
Because they break out. Depends on what position he played too.
Okay.
In rugby, but some of those guys, man, they can run and they can run strong.
Yeah,
you've seen guys that they run. There's clock speed and there's football speed.
That's right.
And some guys play fast with their gear on, and they're able to move and avoid trash without stopping and stutter stepping, and they're strong when they get hit, and things like that. And I think that's the carryover from rugby that will help him. I'm anxious to see. I heard they signed him, and I thought, this might be an interesting project, but he's got to learn the football side of it to be beneficial for him.
That's right. Well,
and then if he's on the practice squad for a year, if he shows that he can have that kind of physical talent and learn the game and learn how everything works and operates, then, it might be a diamond in the rough,
Right. And I think it'll take some time, like you said, the patience of it. If this is something you want to do and he's willing, you could see he's hungry, Jeff. You could see he's passionate about it. He said, the more I do, the better off will be doing it, of course. But I love that. I love the mentality about it. And so if he's developing, like you said, if he's on a practice squad learning, like, shoot, let him be there. Stash him if you could, right?
Yeah.
Just
let him play both sides of the ball so he gets a true picture of, the whole thing.
Okay.
I don't know. What's his size? He's pretty big, isn't he?
I think he's like 6'2", 190.
Yeah. So, let him play linebacker. Let him play tight end. Let him play rush end. Let him play, H-back. Let him do some different things and let him get a feel for the game. Find out where he fits and what he's comfortable doing. Because I think the physicality part of it's not going to be an issue for him.
Right. I love that, man. You're the first one I've heard to let him play both sides of the ball. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I just thought,
I would, but what do I know? I'm just an old raggedy strength coach, so I don't
know. we're about 45 years of experience in the NFL. Knows what he's talking about. You've been around some great ones. What does Jeff think of the proposed new offseason schedule that eliminates OTAs and voluntary and longer off seasons, but longer camps that starts like June? He said, I think it sucks. So what do you think, Jeff, about that? Getting rid of OTAs and stuff.
I don't know how if you get rid of them totally, I don't know how you, with the way free agency is and things like that, I don't know how you get your install done. I think you need to have some days. I really do. I think I've heard from a lot of players that they want to be able to, do the strength conditioning and things like that. They just don't want to be beating the crap out of each other. But you don't have to do that to get your install done. And I think having the team come together, it doesn't have to be all summer, but enough times where you can get some install done so that when minicamp comes, nobody's completely overwhelmed and it ends up being a big cluster of mistakes. So, and I think the longer training camp with the new rules, where you can't hit back-to-back practices. You have to have a walkthrough after a padded practice. I think those things they take care of guys. And if if it's longer, then it allows them a chance to get, more in shape and get ready to go. I think it's how you construct your training camp, though. So you don't play the games in that time period during training camp. I think you need to make sure that you're taking care of guys a little bit, but you're still getting the work done that you need. That make any sense?
No, it makes total sense.
Here's what I used to be afraid of. I was afraid at the end of the off season, there was almost a month sometimes before training camp started.
Right. Yes.
Now, how's everybody going to show up? Are they going to keep doing what they're supposed to do? You can work and you honestly think you're working hard in your mind, but when there's no competition, it's different. It's a whole different beast when you get back together and start working with your teammates.
Oh yeah.
It takes everything to another level. I just think if they handle it right and allow enough prep work at the start of training camp, it can be longer. It can be longer. But if you just come in and the coaches turn the light switch on and it's full go football, I think you're asking for bad stuff to happen.
I agree.
I really do. You got to be able to build into it. I always felt personally, if I had, sometimes I think there was a little bit of overkill at times in the off season. I think if I had a good solid 6 weeks of no football, I could have guys ready to go, full go. You can have them now, coach.
Yeah.
Take care, do what you want with them. But I need a good 6 weeks, and that's how we would kind of build an off-season program. We'd start out, we'd kind of make sure we were doing prep work and getting ready to go. And then that last 6 weeks or 5 weeks, we were going hard. I mean, every day. And then we kind of had an unload week right before mini camp. So guys would kind of freshen back up, but we went hard that, 5 to 6 weeks prior to, and guys were flying around.
See, and I'm thinking of it like from a player standpoint. Like I love doing the off season. I loved it because you could get with your guys, but also too, we were working out. You could see other guys working. You all working together, right? And you could see building up toward what the season was going to be. And I get that. I get that whole, like you said, a whole month before training camp. Because I was a victim sometimes. Like I think I work, or sometimes in my head, like, okay, let me take a vacation. I'm gonna take a vacation with the kids.
Exactly.
Just kind of wind down, right? And so you might get into some bad habits. You want to really kick your feet up. I'm gonna drink because you know what's coming in the next month. You know that you're in. It's gonna be a dog fight. You know that.
Right. Yep.
So, if it starts in June for players, is the monotony going to get to us? The question, right? Is it like you start June, July, August? You ain't going to start playing until September. So you almost talking, 2.5, almost 3 months that you're doing camp, right?
Right.
I mean,
well, you're either going to get it at the front end or the back end. I mean, and so there's an issue with if you get it all done too early, then guys don't come in ready to go. But if you handle it right, I think that it'd be okay if, you had more time off after the season.
Yes.
And then had a longer off season prior to training camp.
Okay.
And then I would still be an advocate of, okay, you guys get out of here for a week and then we come back and we start camp. Because I think that would be beneficial. But I could see the point of having a longer period of, like the off-season training camp kind of thing, take a week and then we're coming back and we're going hard again,
Yeah.
Because it's hard to totally detrain in a week.
Oh, that's
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes I know when I was younger, I could take a week off and come back and I'd be stronger. It was crazy. Now I take a week off and it takes me a month to get back.
Me too, guilty.
Yeah, it's like, so I would be, if they structured it that way, I think you got a chance for it to be successful.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.